I'm working on something about like training in the heat, and do you have to adjust the way you work, the way you train during when you get to the July and August month? I mean, you probably have to adjust a little bit to account for tired legs as the season goes along, right? But do you have to do anything more for the heat?
Different strategies, right? You can go an hour earlier to try to miss some of the hottest part of the day. We haven't done that this year. More hydration, obviously, shorter training sessions, maybe cut the bouts, the times in which they're in action down by a minute or two. But outside of that, you have to adapt because you're going to be playing in it. So it's the difficult moments when the heat just surprises you and comes out of nowhere. But I think now as we're heading into the summer, we're getting that steady burn of the hot summer. And so the guys are starting to adapt to it in a good way, and we just manage their minutes.
Were you surprised it was such a talking point during the Club World Cup?
No, because it's not the climate that those players are used to playing in, and certainly for our players or players that have come into the league for the first time, it hits them pretty hard, and so it takes not just a season; it takes a few seasons to understand the rhythm and really how to play in these kinds of conditions. And so, fortunately for a lot of the players that have been in the league for a long time, they know what's coming once you approach June and July, and they manage it quite well.
How much of an impact do you think it'll have for those Kansas City games potentially during the World Cup next year?
If you don't take care of yourself and you don't prepare in the right way, it'll be a significant impact. But I trust that most of the federations and national teams understand what they're getting themselves into, and they'll train and prepare appropriately.
Yeah.
How long would a team have to be in market to train to be able to adapt to it?
Not a scientist or a doctor, but I would say at least a couple of weeks. From my experience as a player, it takes 10 to 12 days, maybe 14 days, and we've trained in different conditions, altitude training as we prepared for some of the competitions that we've had outside in Mexico, and certainly when you get into the heat, you need 10, 12 days, in my opinion.
When you're a team that trains in altitude, you sometimes have a little more oxygen capability, those type of things. I don't want to go into the science part of it. But is it the same with heat? Like if you train in the heat, you can just run in a game when in cooler weather just that much easier? I
think there is a competitive advantage, certainly for the teams that are down south in Texas and Florida, being used to training in that on a regular basis. When a team from the Pacific Northwest or from Canada comes down to play, there certainly is an advantage from the competitive standpoint, but at the end of the day, I've said it before, on the day you have to show up, you have to play the game, and you have to overcome adversity, and that's usually what determines the outcomes.
You guys had a lot of games this year where you go down early. And they've shown some resilience coming back, but how do you keep that resilience, but also like maybe get the foot on the gas a little bit quicker?
Well, I don't always think it's the fact that we come out of the locker room slow or the foot isn't on the gas. Sometimes it's too far on the gas and we extend ourselves and expose ourselves. And really, in the beginnings of these games, it's a lack of control. Sometimes from wanting to do too much. And so I think you have to look at each game and how it's played out and try to improve upon those things. And certainly from this last game, going into it, we wanted to have more control, and that wasn't just being in possession of the ball or just creating scoring opportunities. We wanted to manage the game in the right way. And outside of the one giveaway that resulted in the goal, I think we managed the shape of the game and the control of the game. Although we didn't have the ball a lot, we were better. Were we perfect? No. Do we need to get a lot better? Yes. But I was pleased with that, and I'm always pleased with how we play every roll of the ball till the last second of every game. It's the strength that we have within the group that we just don't give up. But like you said, we want to find a complete game that is fully in control from start to finish.
You guys had a lot of new guys come in this year, reshape the roster, not all the way down to the studs, but a lot of it, right? Before the season, how long were there any conversations about, guys, it's going to take 3 or 4 months till this team hits its stride? Like what were you thinking it was going to take for the guys to kind of come together and really learn how to play together?
Well, some of the key additions that we've had enter the group this year didn't arrive until the end of preseason. From my recollection, it was a group that had a lot of young players and now new players, key players in key positions that didn't arrive until the end of preseason. And those aren't even excuses in how the season has played out. It's just the reality that we face this year and a lot of teams face from year to year. And so we've tried to overcome that by integrating, the new guys to the league as fast as we could, while giving young guys opportunities. And so that combination of giving the young players probably more minutes over the course of the season than we expected, along with the new players that we've added to the group, has led to a little bit of, inconsistency in some of the performances. But I have to say, as a group, from the character, the culture, the camaraderie within the group, it's outstanding. And so there's always something to build on when you have that. And we're encouraged that we have a big area where we can get better in, and we're all determined to do that.
I kind of want to get in the mind of Kerry Zavagnin here. What do you think you've learned in your 15 or so weeks now in the new role about your coaching style, or even just about yourself in this role?
I was just talking off camera a minute ago of how draining it is after a game. As a player, you usually have that adrenaline rush, and maybe you stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning trying to come down from it. As a coach and in the position, what I've learned is, and I don't sense it going into the game, it's after the game of how much energy has been depleted. And so being able to manage that, I think, has been something that I didn't expect I would need to, but I figured that out personally. But as a group, as a team, I realized that the culture, the environment, the spirit, the belief and the trust in each other is so much more important than the tactical nuances that you have over the course of a game. So we've been creative, we've been flexible, but most importantly, we've believed and we trusted in each other, and that's led us to get some results over the last couple of months that put us in a position as we get towards the stretch to be relevant and to have a shot at it.
Was that drain not the same in your old role?
No.
So I know you always reflect back upon the team when we ask you those type of questions, and it's an admirable trait of the coach. But personally, what do you think you have done better, or you could still do better?
I think I have a huge progression. A first-time coach in his first season taking over a team that was probably not in an optimal position. A little bit of crisis management after the first so many games. And so what I've learned about myself is you never know how you're going to react until you're put up really against it. You can read a lot of things, you can learn from a lot of people, you can have a lot of experiences assisting, but you never really know how you're going to react to it once you get into it. I've taken a lot of my experiences, a lot of my philosophies, what I thought I would do when I was a coach, I've tried to implement. Taken a lot of risks. But you don't achieve anything without taking risks. And so I think there's been times where I could afford to find a little more continuity. But I think we're searching for that as a group.
And I know you get asked about this all the time, and it's not necessarily your responsibility, but transfer window is coming. I'm sure you at least have some talks. Is there any word on moves in, out, any changes?
Well, I mean this, I've been part of this for a long time, and there's been times where I've been really immersed in that. And at this moment, my full concentration is on the players. As I talked about, the energy that goes into actually implementing the game itself, and then coming down after the game collectively and personally and as a group. I can't imagine doing anything other than just coaching the team. And thankfully, we have other guys right now that are looking at players. And as I said the other night, I think every team in the world, as they approach a transfer window, just wants 1 or 2 more guys that will push you over the edge. And I think we're embarking on that right now. And I think time will tell if we're able to bring the guys in.
And I'd also like to ask just about a specific player, Frifa. We haven't seen him very much in first-team games, and the 2-team obviously is struggling with not a lot of players. Is there a reason we're not seeing him on either end?
No, that's just a logistical thing. Obviously, with Eric Tommy out, we count on a Frifa in the first team. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that he gets minutes within the second team. He's trained well. There's nothing concerning about him or his ability or his performances. It's just there's other guys in the group, as I told him, that are performing a little bit better, but we still have a lot of faith in him, hope in him, and think he's going to turn into something good for us.
And since you brought up Tommy, how's he doing, and is there any timeline on when he'll be available?
Well, he says he's improving 3% every day, so I don't know where that percentage is right now, whether it's in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, but he's improving. His words, not mine, and so we're eagerly waiting his return.
I saw him limping a little bit the other day, so I don't know what his percentage is.
But he was 3% better than the day before that.
I have to ask. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.